we'll go ahead and get started. Well, hello everyone, and good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. My name is Jenny Tukeski, and I am the Programming and Communications Manager at the Better Business Bureau, where I actually oversee the recognition programs, including the Torch Awards of Ethics, our flagship initiative. Since 1995, the Torch Awards have honored businesses and nonprofits to demonstrate an exceptional commitment to ethics and integrity. These awards are open to all organizations, free to apply, and you do not have to be BBB accredited to do so. If you're interested in applying or even nominating an organization that you believe fit the needs of the Torch Awards, all portals are currently open at bbb.org/MWP-Torch. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. I am thrilled to welcome to you our webinar of how 2025 Torch Award winners built ethics first businesses. We are joined by leaders who will share how they've woven ethics into the DNA of their organizations. So we're going to go ahead and get started and introduce you to all of them. First, we have Chris German from Avoidia Fragrances, located in Omaha, Nebraska. Chris leads an innovative fragrance company specializing in custom, handcrafted scents that capture personal stories, emotions, and identities. They place a strong emphasis on educating the next generation about ethical practices within their industries. Next, we have Susan Gale from Feeding South Dakota, located in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Susan represents the state's largest hunger relief organization, providing food in all 66 counties across the rural communities, metro area, and the Native American reservations. Next up, we have Carrie Heinrich with Woodman Life, located in Omaha, Nebraska. Carrie joins us from a company that has offered life insurance and retirement products for more than 135 years, anchored in financial stability and trusted services. Next up is Meg McCoy with Vision to Voice Healthcare Communications, also in Omaha. Meg works with a medical communications and marketing company that helps pharmaceutical, biotech, and medical device organizations to deliver accurate medical information to healthcare professionals. And next, we have Zach Schultz with Credit Management, located in Grand Island, Nebraska. Zach is joining us from a third-party debt collection agency that partners with hospitals and medical providers to recover unpaid accounts while prioritizing fairness, compliance, and ethical practices. The company has also been around for over 100 years. So to all of you, thank you so much for being a part of this webinar today and being on the panel. We greatly appreciate all of your help with this too. So first up, I'm just going to go around and have you guys introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your organization. And first with you, Susan, I'll have you as well. Just tell us why your company went ahead and applied for the Torch Awards to begin with.
Sure. So thank you so much for having us. My name is Suzanne Gale. I'm the Senior Development Officer here at Feeding South Dakota. And so, like you mentioned, we are the largest hunger relief organization here in the state of South Dakota. We focus on all 66 counties. We offer programs that help individuals, families, children, seniors who are facing food insecurity. I think the reason that we chose to apply for the Torch Awards, first we were given the idea to apply through Susanna Hazuka. She reached out to us and said, I really think that Feeding South Dakota should apply for the Torch Awards. And so we went to the training, and the more we looked into what it was, it really fit with who we were and who we are. And so I just think, with Feeding South Dakota, the work that we do, we are always really at a higher level, I guess, of really looking at ethical standards and transparency and accountability. And just all of those things that are wrapped into that is really who Feeding South Dakota is. And so we took that opportunity to apply.
Thank you. Carrie, you're next. Oh, we can't hear you, Carrie. Oh, there you are.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so bizarre. I didn't do anything. Okay, lovely Zoom. Anyway, thank you for having me. I am the Communications and Public Relations Director for Woodman Life, which is a not-for-profit life insurance company located here in Omaha. We operate throughout the country. We were founded in 1890 with a mission for protecting the financial security of families and giving back to communities. And so ethics is a really important part of what we do every day. We have been accredited with the BBB for 65 years, I think it is now. And we've been fortunate enough to win the Torch Award 3 times and previously the Integrity Awards. And the reason we got involved with that is it's a great way to validate that we're actually living what we believe every day. And just the process of going through the Torch Awards is a really great way to document everything you are doing and see how the program fits together and really emphasizes how important ethics are.
Thank you. Chris, how about you?
Hi, my name is Christopher German. I am the owner, founder, and cosmetic chemist of Evodia Fragrances. I like to say it's where memories make sense. I do custom fragrances, custom scented swag. And so, really, my reasoning for applying for the Torch Award was really to showcase the difference between the handmade fragrances that we make versus the competitors that are out there in the natural perfume and cologne world. And so we use all holistic products. We use essential oils. We use oils that are healthy for your skin. I used to be a cosmetic chemist, or excuse me, I used to be a clinical allergy specialist. And so that kind of evolved into my world of becoming a cosmetic chemist. And so understanding what reacts with the skin, making sure I'm making those ethical decisions on what's healthy for people and also for your pets is really my reasoning for applying for the Torch Award. Really, again, showcase that importance that I'm looking out for with every one of my customers.
Great. Meg?
Yes, my name is Meg McCoy. I'm the Associate Manager of HR Communications at Vision to Voice Healthcare Communications. As Jenny mentioned, we partner with biotech, pharmaceutical companies to help communicate their clinical advances and make medical education about their products accessible and easy to understand to healthcare professionals. And we do this by hosting interactive peer-to-peer programs. And peer-to-peer just means it's healthcare professionals helping educate other healthcare professionals. And we were founded in 2008 with the ultimate mission of helping improve the lives of patients by providing these HCPs with the education that they need in order to make the most informed decisions for their patients. And we first won a Torch Award about a decade ago. So we've been in the process. So this last year, it was a no-brainer to apply. But why we initially decided to first apply was similar to what Carrie was saying. It's a good way to perform almost an ethical audit on your company and see, what am I doing? Where can we improve? And hold that accountability.
Zach?
Hi, I'm Zach Schultz. I'm the Executive Project Manager here at Credit Management Services. As Jenny stated, we are a collection agency that provides collection services to over 2,300 clients throughout the Midwest, predominantly 50 to 60 hospital clients in that area as well. So within our industry, compliance and ethics is integral to the success of our organizations. And very similar to Suzanne, we had Susanna with the BBB reach out to us a few times, just letting us know that, hey, this is an amazing opportunity for your organization. And it just really came down to timing and setting aside that time for the application process and everything else. And when we finally found the opportunity to go ahead and do that, we thought it was kind of a no-brainer for our organization because very similar to Carrie and Meg, it's just one of those situations where a lot of organizations can say that they're an ethical organization, but if you can actually go through a rigorous process through the BBB and their torch award application, you can actually show that yes, through this incredible organization like the BBB, like we are an ethical organization and we take a lot of pride in that. So I thought it was an incredibly rewarding experience, and I would just highly recommend it to anybody who even has the interest in applying.
You know. So with that, several of you mentioned about how it helps with your business and everything. Filling out the application and going through the process, what did it provide about your business that maybe were like surprises or aha moments that stuck out to you that you didn't really realize before? And whoever can go.
I don't know if it was really a huge aha moment, but I thought it was really interesting to see how it reinforces that ethics shows up in every small choice every day. It's not a big headline situation. It's all of the things you do from training to reporting to feedback channels, leadership development, that all plays a part in the overall ethics of your operation.
I would kind of echo that, in addition to really just building my own company, just really showcasing, going through those checks and balances to make sure that I was following the things that I thought were great ideas or ways that a business should be done, and going through BBB and the Torch Award, really seeing like, okay, yes, this was the direction I was supposed to go into. Yes, I am doing this. So it was really more of a checks and balances for myself as well, for just establishing something brand new.
I'd probably echo all that as well in terms of, I would say, it got us incredibly organized in all these key areas about ethics and how you can actually utilize a lot of that wording for your marketing purposes as well. So I thought it was integral for that entire process too. And we've actually um, written about a lot of like good pieces that we can use in just our business proposals, our websites, our social media, and everything else. So yeah, it was kind of eye-opening in regards to that too.
I think I was just gonna say, I would agree with what everyone else has said too. I don't know that there was, maybe huge aha moments with going through it, but I think that it definitely brought it to the forefront of our minds. And so it made us really appreciate, I mean, we have a large wall in our open space with our cubicles that has all of our values and our commitments on the wall. And so it just kind of, it re-engaged us a little bit with why it's so important to have those up front for us to read every day. They're in our offices in little, kind of like plaque picture frames so that we can see those, our values and our ethics every day. So I think it was just great to kind of bring those back to the forefront.
Yes.
Yeah, I echo what everyone else said. But one opportunity that the application provided that was a little bit eye-opening to me was you're able to submit attachments. And so because of that, I went through all of our blogs, all of our client newsletters, social posts, and just found examples of where we try to communicate ethics in our public communications. So for instance, we put out a webinar on compassion in medicine and how that actually helps improve patient adherence to treatment plans. And we did a big whole campaign on it. And so it showed that, it's not just internal, and it's also not just like volunteering in the community. It's also trying to help instill ethics into the industry and other people in our practice.
Nice. So we'll go ahead and move on to the real world ethical challenges that companies face. So with that, Carrie, can you share a specific example of a tough ethical decision your company faced and how you guys navigated that?
And this is several years back, but I think it's a really good example of not just the ethics, but also the compassion and the caring of the associates we have. We had a member that had called in to try and surrender part of a policy to get money, and he had told the person he was talking to that he won the Publishers Clearinghouse and he needed to get money to pay them. So obviously that person recognized that that was a scam and tried to explain that to the gentleman. And he didn't want to listen, didn't want to, and he just wanted her to do what he wanted her to do. And she took it upon herself to elevate that to her superiors and to our legal department. And so the ethical dilemma was, do you do what the member's asking you to do and fulfill their surrender, or do you try and go above and beyond to do what you know is right to protect this person? And she took it, and our legal department ended up contacting some of the organizations in the state they were in and got someone to intercede and go to that person's house and convince him that he was being scammed and cancel that surrender so he didn't lose his life insurance. So it's an example of ethics being not just what would be the easy decision, but what's the right decision.
Exactly. And that you guys were actually able to help him too is
Yeah.
great to hear.
Yeah.
So, Zach, how do you handle situations where doing the right thing conflicts for short-term profitability?
It's a good question. Kind of talking about just being transparent, right? Because we did have one of our processes that did fail from just a technological standpoint in one of those months. And we were able to identify it and we were able to see how it had an impact on a variety of clients. And we did find that just being transparent and providing a solution and working through each of those processes, we were able just take full responsibility of the situation and we were able to save all those relationships. So at the end of the day, yeah, it was one of those things where it could have been very troubling there for a short period of time, but just because we owned it and provided a solution, it saved the profitability for years to come after that and saving those relationships.
Thank you. Chris, have you experienced pressure from customers or partners or stakeholders to compromise your standards? And how did you respond to that person or stakeholder?
Yes, so it actually quite happens quite frequently. In the world of fragrances, dupe fragrances are very common. So people that are making knockoffs, and I respect the integrity of every brand. And so when I have customers or anyone that asks, can I recreate this scent for them so they can get it at a cheaper value? I'll tell them no, I won't. I won't do that. What we can do is we can find something they love out of that scent and out of another scent and marry them together and create something new and unique for them, but never will just rip off another brand's. Again, I respect that, and that goes into my ethics as well.
So, in regards to measuring the impacts of businesses and values, Suzanne, can you tell us with ethics and integrity, sometimes is seen as soft values. So, in regards to that, what drives you to real results and how do you measure that impact? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, I thought I had unmuted myself. Can you clarify what you're asking for the question?
Yeah,
We
so
can say it again.
Yeah, no problem. So with ethics, integrity are sometimes seen as just like soft values for a company. So yet they drive real results. So with that, how do you actually measure the impacts of ethics and integrity within your industry?
Sure. So here at Feeding South Dakota, we use ethical practices to help us steward all the resources that we need, which, a lot of time is our food that we're distributing across the state. And so when we're really trying to maximize the amount of food that we're receiving and minimizing waste and making sure that the donations are reaching every corner of our state. We do a lot of, communication with our partners. So across the state, we have over 240 partner agencies that help us distribute the food. So it's really, we are the hub where the food is, and then we take those out to our partners, which could be local churches, local organizations, schools that have food pantries. So they're really the ones that are helping us get the food out. And so we really utilize working with those partners to get feedback from them. We are always doing surveys with them because they're the ones in the community. So they know their community the best. So yes, we're located in Sioux Falls. We have another distribution in Pierre, South Dakota and Rapid City, South Dakota. But someone that lives in a very rural community in South Dakota is going to know much better the food, the products, the programs that are going to serve best with their community. And so it's just open communication with those partners all the time. Transparent reporting, I think, is really important for us. And again, just reputation and building those relationships.
So then, Meg, how do you communicate the ROI of ethics to financially focused stakeholders?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think what's important is kind of showing the risk benefit analysis. So like in the short term, making the ethical decision might not be, as we mentioned earlier, the most profitable in the moment. But if you weigh the cons, so if you get a lawsuit for something or you lose an employee, those types of things are very expensive. And so weighing the risk of that versus, hey, if we put in the time, if we put in the money, we invest in this ethical solution, we can help keep employees, have them be more loyal, perform better because of it. And because of that, we'll have more loyal customers. And overall, just kind of that culture instills a better functioning business overall. So I think just weighing the risk versus what could come from it.
Nice. So then moving on, the next question I'll have Chris and Zach both. I'll have you both answer this one. What advice would you give organizations wanting to build strong ethical cultures?
I can go first. I would just highly recommend that it all starts from the top. And when they lead by example, I think there is definitely a trickle down effect in terms of enhancing a culture. And we have seen that tremendously over the last probably decade, I would say, where we did realize there for a period of time our retention rate wasn't the best. And we really wanted to solidify that through a variety of like employee engagement programs, community outreach program, infusing ethics throughout every practice and people seeing that and living it. And it really created a culture that people were really proud to be a part of. And we were able to increase our retention rate. It was probably between 40 and 50% there for a while. And over the last few years, we're hovering over 90% retention rate within our employees. And that's just huge in ROI, as we all know, in terms of just training people in general, but also having people who are bought into your culture. It just pays dividends in the services that you provide to your clients and also just overall how people feel at work. And so I think we've done an incredible job at that. And I would highly recommend it to any organization. It starts at the top. It also, if you empower your team to build engagement opportunities so it feels like it's their own, and then you're just fully transparent with your teams as well. And you have those open lines of communications, I think is a strong start for any culture.
Yeah, absolutely what Zach said. And for any business owners out there that are building their business, kind of inverting what Zach said, it also starts with that strong foundation as well. So your base needs to be strong. Yes, it's starting from the top, and that top is creating that strong base. And so you really need to make sure you are setting out those practices that you want to do, really showcasing what you want to create and build within your business, because that strong foundation will just really transform into something beautiful and awesome. And then as you get more of that culture, more of that team, it just transcends into those individuals. Relatively easy.
Meg, this question's for you. How do you embed ethics into daily operations and decision making?
So we have a statement of ethics that we have in our employee handbook, and we have specific questions underneath, like, does this violate B2B policy? Would I be proud to tell my family about this decision? Just things like that to try to get people thinking before they even make a decision in the first place on, is this the right move to be making? We also have a Circle of Integrity award that we give out every year to employees, and it's our biggest award that we give. We give it at our annual meeting every year, and it's to the employee, whether they're an executive to an individual contributor, who most lived out our 5 core values of honesty, empathy, respect, trust, and dedication. And they get like a monetary award as well as a physical trophy. And we really, I mean, it's not just about winning the award, it's really trying to instill in people that this is what we value most in our company. And so we are going to reward those who are showing that.
That's awesome. Thank you. Suzanne, what roles do leadership play in modeling ethical behavior? And do you have any examples to share?
Yeah, so I would say the leadership team here at Feeding South Dakota implemented kind of a checks and balance system for the organization to really ensure that there is ethical behavior. So when we're going to purchase some of our capital purchases, we always get 3 quotes so that you're maintaining with that standard that we're getting 3 quotes, and it's and we're able to review all of those. We also do 2 approvals or signers on checks. And so this, I think it just sets the example and kind of sets the tone that even at the top, our CEO can't just sign something or accept a bid or accept something that way. She does it the same way as the person who's in middle management, maybe. So I think they really set the tone through that. And then they've also modeled that behavior through our board of directors, just making sure that we're putting measures and policies in place and that we're always reviewing our policies on a regular basis and making sure that they're fitting with our organization at this time.
Nice. And Carrie, how do you maintain ethical standards during rapid growth or change within an organization? Oh, we lost you again. No, we lost you again. No worries. Did anybody else want to jump in on that question? I can repeat it if you need me to. Just how do you maintain ethical standards during a rapid growth or change?
I think it's just always important to always be referring back to your policies and procedures so that when, that big growth or things change or things happen, the landscape changes, to just always go back to those policies and procedures and review them. And then, for us, we really use our mission to guide us in our decisions. And so I think that helps too, like looking at what your core values are when you're making those decisions during growth. And looking at long-term too, making sure that it's not just a short-term fix, but that when you're growing and having growth, that it's a long-term, looking at the long-term solution, I think is really important too.
Oh, there you are. Oh, nope, now we lost it.
Can't hear me again?
There.
Okay, that is so bizarre. I'm not doing anything. Anyway, what I wanted to say about it's important then to have that structure. So as you grow, you can lean on your processes and policies. We're obviously in a very highly regulated industry, so we have a very robust compliance plan. And we make sure that people know all of the parts and processes and that we can lean on that as we grow. And I think it's also really important to have transparency, to communicate that the whole way as things are happening and as changes are happening so that people don't feel like things are happening to them, they're happening with them, and they're part of everything that's going on.
Thank you. So in regards to employee engagement and training, Meg, how do you onboard new employees to your ethical values and standards?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we have like our mission statement and our statement of ethics right there at the front of our handbook, we walk through as their very first day what our mission is. We go through our 5 core values in detail. They're also plastered all over the office. And we instill just the importance of living out those 5. We believe that all of our interactions at the center should be respect. And so we really hone that in as we're going through the handbook that very first day. We also have a few programs in place to try to help keep ethical adjacent, I guess, ideas top of mind. So we have a mentorship program that all new hires are automatically enrolled in. And it's just a safe place for them to talk about any struggles they're facing at work, any concerns they're having about certain aspects of their job. And there's someone there to help listen and just help them acclimate to our company culture. We also have like burnout prevention training. This kind of goes back to the question you asked before this about, how you keep ethical practices front of mind when you're in a big period of growth. We have this burnout prevention training that we roll out to all new employees and periodically to ones who have already gone through it, just to try to help people, keep the human aspect of our employees in mind. We're all going to need a break at some point, and there are certain ways that we can make work easier on people. And just keeping kind of an ethical mindset towards what people might be going through. So those are some of the ways that we help onboard employees to our ethics, and we can just continue to try to instill that as they're here at the company.
So to piggyback off of that, then, Zach, how do you guys empower your employees at entry level to make ethical decisions, especially when just first starting out?
Yeah, I'd probably piggyback off of what Meg was stating. It all starts in the initial onboarding process and training, and then we have continuous follow-up with all of our employees, whether it's weekly, monthly coaching sessions. Obviously, in our line of work, as I stated before, compliance and ethics is integral for the success of our organization. So yeah, we do monitor our phone calls and everything else with our consumers, just to ensure that all of our employees are upholding our values with the people that matter most, the people we're interacting with day to day, in addition to our clients, etc. So it it just starts in the beginning, and then it just takes continuous follow up, and then I think it just becomes the norm for everybody here, and they just live it day by day.
In regards to relationships with stakeholders, Suzanne, how has your ethical commitment shaped your relationships with your customers, your vendors, and also your community partners?
Yeah, I would say that because of our ethical standards, it's really helped us build strong trust-based relationships with all of the people that we serve. So whether it's serving people through our programs, whether it's our commitments to donors, making sure that their donations are being used for what we say that they're going to be used for, or even those relationships with the community partners that I had talked about before. I think it's just building that relationship and just Feeding South Dakota is over 50 years old. And so I think it's just, we've built that rapport that we are going to do what we say we're going to do. It's important that we show up when we say that we're going to be somewhere, because so many people across our state are relying on us for their next meal. So it's important that we build these relationships and that we just continue, I guess, to build those relationships and keep ethics at the forefront.
Chris, can you share a story where ethics strengthened a business relationship for you or even created a new opportunity?
Yeah, actually, it was with the Business Ethics Alliance. And so they discovered me because of this award. And so it was something that they wanted to basically embrace all five senses of showing what ethics is in their environment. You can see ethics, you can touch ethics, but what does ethics smell like? And so they reached out to me and we did some research, we did some fun modeling examples, and we created an ethical scent, something that just smells clean, simple, fun. And we put this on an air freshener with their logo, with the BBB logo as well, and something that they gave out at one of their conferences. And so that was just something really cool to see, just a different way that I got discovered. And because I had that BBB accreditation behind me, that really influenced them to go in this direction.
And we have that air freshener in our office too. So
Fantastic. I have it hanging up in my car too.
Carrie, what's been, you would say, the biggest challenge in maintaining ethical standards, and how do you overcome it?
Biggest challenge, it's just maintaining that transparency and communication and allowing people to provide feedback. You know, people are going to speak up if they feel safe and they feel that it matters. And so you have to really make an effort to give them that opportunity and to make sure they feel included.
And for this next question, I'll open it up to whoever would like to answer it. But is there a mistake or misstep that taught your organization an important lesson from it?
I would say just really not overcommitting yourself, I guess. Just realizing the team that you have, the capabilities you can do, and not just taking on challenges because if you're growing, that is something that comes with the growth and not to overindate yourself too quickly. So I'd say that would probably be something was a learning lesson kind of for myself.
Nice. All right, so moving forward, looking forward, Suzanne and Zach, I'll give you guys this question. How do you stay vigilant and continue evolving your ethical practice?
Yeah, so we are a heavily regulated industry. And so obviously we have our team of our compliance management team where we're constantly monitoring regulations and everything else and staying up to date with state and national regulations that impact us. So we're constantly monitoring those changes. And if they ever arise, then of course we have to create our teams where we can actually implement those practices so we abide by the new regulations. So it's definitely at the forefront of our minds at all times. We are heavily linked and in tone with a lot of the regulation changes here. And so, yeah, it's always top of mind. It's never changing for our industry. So it's definitely at the forefront for us.
I think for us, it's just, regularly reviewing all of our policies and our procedures and our governance practices that we have in place. As the landscape changes in what we're doing as a nonprofit, we have to make different decisions. And I think, our leadership team and really anyone on our team is really open to conversations with, whether it be donors or partners or individuals utilizing our programs. If there's something or a way that we can serve people better, or if we can fill a gap that is somewhere across the state, we really, I guess, we welcome those conversations. Our CEO and our leadership team does a lot with Feeding America as well. So that's a great partnership that we have. And so Feeding America, by having that partnership with them, it also opens up other resources for us too. So I think it's just always being open to changing or adapting to whatever's going on, but also reviewing what you have in place, making sure that it still works for what we're doing.
Yeah, I know you didn't ask me, but I want to just add in as a plug for the
Yeah,
Better Business Bureau and the Business Ethics Alliance that maintaining those relationships so you can stay part of that ongoing conversation and having those discussions with other businesses really helps stay on top of changes and make sure that we're all moving in the same direction.
great. Um, so for Meg and Chris and Carrie, what's your what's next for your organization in regards to strengthening your ethical culture?
That's a good question. Um, it's just an ongoing day-to-day commitment. I don't know if there's a next step. It's to keep doing what we're doing and keep communicating and keep learning, and make sure that everybody in the organization is involved and feels like they have a voice and can speak. I think that's really the key to making sure that ethics stays every day top of mind.
I think for me, again, just building a business, just ensuring that I'm continuing forward with my practices, with the ethics and everything, and just continuing to hone in on those areas and just continuously enhancing them throughout the years and really not diverting myself from them, essentially just to grow in a different direction, really just make sure I have those guidelines, those policies and procedures and everything in place to truly excel to where I can get to the point of having employees and growing and evolving in that sort of sense.
This isn't necessarily new for our company, but it's top of mind at the moment. We just put out a satisfaction survey that we gave to all of our employees. So right now we're looking at, what are some of the pain points, some of the things that we can focus on improving at our company. And I forget who said it earlier, but the idea that you want to be transparent and you want them not just to have things done to them, but you want them involved in the process of implementing new policies, making these changes, overall doing things to better the company. And of course, the results of that survey change year by year. So it's something that we'll continue implementing and working through in order to improve the company.
Great advice. Thank you. So last question for everyone. What advice would you give to businesses just beginning their ethical journey or even considering applying for the Torch Awards?
Stay true to yourself. Don't try to um, pigeonhole, I guess, yourself essentially, or try to put yourself in a box to try to think what the BBB is expecting of you. Really, just showcase what you're doing, what you're putting forth, and that'll just speak volume. So don't change who you are or what you're doing.
Echo
Right.
that. And oh, sorry, did somebody?
Go ahead, Carrie.
Well, I was just going to say, don't wait until you're perfect to do it. Just, it's a great opportunity to get a checkpoint on where you are and where you want to go. And the process is really helpful. I would also highly recommend, as far as applying, to go to the seminars. It's very helpful information on how to fill out the application, and also use a lot of specific examples. And I think it was Meg talked about, going through supporting documentation, and you'd be amazed how much you actually already have.
Yeah, and I second what Chris and Carrie both said. I think they said it incredibly well. The one thing I'll piggyback off of, and it was actually Jenny's advice to me during the application process, is the more descriptive you can be with your answers, the better off you will be. And I have found myself while writing, it's a good position to be in, right? When you have a lot to write about. And so the words start flowing. And like Chris was saying, be true to yourself and just write your story. And the more descriptive you can be, the better off you'll be during the application process. Is key.
I think I would agree with what everyone has said too, but just really being intentional and being honest about it. And I think just keeping in mind too that ethics really isn't a checklist that you want to go through. It's really creating that culture and having that culture and guiding your decisions.
Great. Well, thank you, everyone. for being on the panel today, for answering the questions and helping everyone out who is interested in applying for the Torch Awards. We do truly appreciate all of your help and the conversation that was brought up and the different guidance that you've given us today. So we appreciate that. Thank you. For those of you who found the discussion valuable, we'll be hosting, like Carrie said, attending those workshops and stuff. We'll be hosting webinars and workshops to walk you through the process of the application. So if you have any questions, please just let us know. You can see again all of our events on our website. And then also the first workshop that we have coming up here soon is on Wednesday, March 25th here in Omaha. And then we are doing additional locations too. So just keep a lookout for that. And then before we go as well too, just a reminder to everybody that Torch Awards nominations are open up year-round on our website. And then again, the portal is open for the application process if you are interested in applying. So thank you again, everyone, for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you all again soon. Have a good day.
You.
Thank you.
Thanks.